Barbara Walters, the trailblazing television news broadcaster and long-standing ABC News anchor and correspondent who cracked the glass ceiling and became a dominant force in an industry dominated by men, conducted some landmark televised interviews. Today on Simply Channel, we take a look at Barbara Walters' top 12 most impactful TV interviews. Barbara Walters, the legendary newswoman who died Friday at the age of 93, may have started out on The Today Show, but she blazed a trail as the first woman to co-anchor the evening news. She made her name, however, over decades of headline-making TV specials in which she interviewed celebrities, businesspeople, politicians, and, perhaps most notably, scandalous subjects. Barbra Streisand, 1976. The Barbara Walters specials premieres to record ratings, with A Star is Born star Barbra Streisand competing for a spot on the marquee alongside President Carter and First Lady Rosalind Carter. Fidel Castro, 1977. Walters' interviews with world leaders such as the Shah of Iran, Boris Yeltsin, Margaret Thatcher, Václav Havel, Muammar Gaddafi, Hugo Chavez, and countless others were among her trademarks, but none was more memorable than her conversation with Cuba's Fidel Castro, whom she finally persuaded to sit for ABC's cameras after a 2-year campaign of letters and phone calls to the Cuban mission to the United Nations. Menachem Begin and Anwar Sadat, 1977. Begin reportedly convinced Sadat to do it for the sake of our friend Barbara, resulting in Walters' blockbuster joint interview with the Israeli Prime Minister and the Egyptian President. Katharine Hepburn, 1981. It may be mentioned at my funeral or in my obituary that I once asked Katharine Hepburn what kind of tree she wanted to be, Walters recalled in a 2004 special compiling her most memorable moments. Well, that's not exactly what happened, she continued. I did not inquire of her. She mentioned it. What was I supposed to do? Sean Connery, 1987. The former James Bond famously attempted to justify comments he made to Playboy 20 years earlier defending slapping women in his interview with Walters. I haven't changed my opinion. They want to have the last word, and you give it to them, but they are unhappy with it. If they want to say it again and get into a really provocative situation, I think they're perfectly fine. Mike Tyson and Robin Givens, 1988. What makes you love him? A classic Walters line of questioning led the actor to describe the boxer's temper as scary, intimidating, and out of control, just months before their divorce the following year. The 10 Most Fascinating People, 1993. In 1993, Walters introduced what would become one of the television year's defining rituals, with then First Lady Hillary Clinton claiming the top spot. Courtney Love, 1997. Walters confronted Courtney Love with many difficult questions, including, have you ever done drugs in front of your child? No, and, do you blame yourself for husband Kurt Cobain's suicide? But when Love said yes, she did blame herself, and Walters was gentle and genuinely distressed in her attempt to steer Love away from that blame. Monica Lewinsky, 1999. Where did your self-esteem go? What happened to your self-esteem? In her first sit-down interview since the news of her affair with President Clinton became public, Walters brought the subject of the biggest scandal of the 1990s to 2020, in what may have been the pinnacle of her power. Arnold Schwarzenegger, 2000. Walters often spoke to the subjects of front-page news after they made it. But in Schwarzenegger's case, Walters was ahead of the curve. Her second on-camera conversation with The Terminator star presaged his successful run for California governor just 3 years later. Patrick Swayze, 2009. The most moving of Walters' interview subjects' tears may have been when she asked Patrick Swayze about his father's death and he described how much he loved that man, and how he wished to make him proud. While he struggled with his emotions, you appreciated Walters' talent for remaining present and silent, which is difficult to achieve. V. Stiviano and Shelley Sterling, 2014. Just weeks after the NBA banned LA Clippers owner Donald Sterling for life after he was caught on video making racist slurs, Walters landed his wife and co-owner Shelley, as well as his mistress, Vee Stiviano, who could be heard on the audio.